Hi guys, just a quick one today. This might be useful for you as a reference point in order to understand where the picking motion comes from. I'm presuming that most of you have got a handle on strumming and how to use your wrist to strum like that. When you strum in a relaxed manner, you'll notice that you're really using your wrist joint. It kind of really moves in and out. So it would kind of move out for a downstroke and in for an upstroke. So in, out, shake it all about, blah, blah, blah. And alternate picking is essentially that, it's just condensed. So let's take this chord shape. I'm doing that in and out motion, and I'm rotating from the wrist. I'm not doing a kind of a full arm generated strumming technique. It really is wrist. So we've all got those wrist joints, and unless you've got kind of a serious injury preventing that wrist joint from moving, the chances are you do have that mobility there. So you're just using that to strum. And so that's what you do if you want to pick several strings. So let's make that smaller. Let's pick 3 strings, for example. These top 3 here on this A minor. So I'm still doing that in and out wrist motion. So what happens if I make it smaller still? Let's just pick 2 strings. Still the same motion. I just got to be a bit more in control of how big the motions are. And now I'm just picking 1 string. That's alternate picking. So let's make the motion large again and play a whole chord. This is where it's strumming. And let's make the motion smaller again. So it all generates from that same in and out wrist motion. So you may have been watching this wondering, that's great, Ben, but I don't really want to play guitar with my wrist all the way out there. You know, what about distortion? What about muting? Things like that. And it's a good question. It's a fair point. This motion is like an exaggerated version. It's an obvious version. And if you're playing chords on a clean setting or even on a distorted setting, but you weren't worried about single notes and muting or anything like that, then you can have your wrist out like that, nice and floppy. But let's say you want to mute the strings. Fine. Just bring it in. The motion is still the same, it's just smaller. And because your hand is next to the guitar, it's not as obvious. You can't see it as much, but it is the same, it's just shortened. So I recommend to anybody to get this into your head, just get strumming, yeah, get that loose wrist action, and then just condense it into a smaller version of that same action. You know, try it on 3 strings, then try it on 2 strings, and then finally try it on 1 string. And then once you've got used to that, you've got that motion, you can get it happening easily. Just adjust it to your own personal playing preference. Bring it in closer to the guitar if you need to, so you've got access to muting capabilities and what have you. So I go into these picking motions even more in my alternate picking course if you need more help with this. So I've made it just for people like you who need a hand and understanding how to generate that motion, and then also how to apply it to crossing strings as well. So that's going to help you out with that. And so yeah, that's available on my site along with my latest album, which of course you need in your life. But yeah, this is just meant to be a little quick tip which may or may not help you. A lot of people need mental and physical and visual reference points to help them play, and hopefully this one might work for you if all the other sort of tuition stuff doesn't. Okay, so think of it as strumming just condensed and made smaller. All right, so if you know what to do, cheers for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.